Hey, how y'all doing today? Chris here at LMS EFI, and I'm working on a 95 Dodge Neon, little car that some guys are putting together for a Champ Car effort. It's actually a neat little car. So basically, what we're working on now, I'm laying out the electrical system, and I often get asked when you're laying out the system and you want to know what the amp draw of all the individual components are, whether you're setting up a PDM or a fuse box, and you're trying to figure out what the what the amp draw is going to be on different components, and then your overall amperage draw. How do you figure that out? And a lot of components will the manufacturer will provide information. Sometimes you just don't have that information available. Things like injectors, something that's got a coil like that, you can measure the resistance across the coil, and that'll tell you what the amperage draw is going to be. I actually just did this, what I'm going to show you here. I'm working on the cooling fans right now, but I just did the same thing on the wipers and on the wiper motor. And basically, I can look through the manufacturer's schematic, and it's going to show me what the fuse for that circuit is going to be. But a lot of OEs will put multiple components on a single fuse, and in this case, all we're running is the wiper. So I want to know exactly what that wiper is pulling, and so that way I can gauge my wire, get the proper size wire going to that component, and put a fuse in there that's realistic and not like way too big or way too small, and we can know exactly what these motors are pulling. So the wiper motor actually it really seems like every time I test components like this, I actually pull less amperage than I would have guessed. The wiper motor only pulled about 2 amps on the low speed and about 4 amps on the high speed. So a whole lot less than what I had figured it would. So what we're doing, the only thing you need for this, I've got a little 12 volt power supply. I think it's a 30 amp power supply. We got this off Amazon. It's relatively inexpensive. Like anything else, there's better and lesser grade components. This one has served me well for a number of years. And then we've got a Fluke amp clamp. Again, not a real expensive component. It is Fluke, so that's going to be a little more expensive than some lower end names. And again, you can probably find something really cheap off Amazon that works fairly well. But those are the two things we need, and all we're going to do, we've got our power supply hooked up to the the negative lead runs up through the amp clamp, and then that's already connected to our actually on the positive side I've got the voltage polarity reversed on this fan. I'm just playing with it, but that won't affect our readings, so the fan's just going to turn the wrong way for now. So yeah, set that amp clamp up on the negative lead. I've got the positive lead here, and I'm going to try to do this in the video without, here, I'll look at what I'm doing. And what we want to do, we want to watch this number when I make this connection. And it's going to jump up. There's going to be an inrush current that's going to be higher than the running current. And we kind of want to note what both of those are going to be, so we want to watch that. If you're really fancy, you can set up a logger, but visual verification is going to be enough for what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to turn it on, let it stabilize, and that's it. And so what we saw there, it jumped up to about 11 amps real quick for inrush when the fan was just starting up, and then it stabilized at about 6 amps. So for this particular component, we're probably going to fuse it at about 15 amps. And that should cover us, and then I'll do a calculation for distance from the component back to the fuse box to see what kind of wire gauge I'm gonna have to run. And that's all there is to to checking current draw on a component that you have no idea what it's going to draw. So if you got any questions, shoot me an email. It's Chris, C-H-R-I-S, at lms-efi.com. And check us out, lms-efi.com. If you have any needs for components or hardware, let us know. We can help. Have a good day.